The 18th, 2022. Shake, rattle, and hum, baby. Shake, rattle, and hum. Let's get with the program. Let's see what's going on here today. Everybody well? Here we are right here. Let's see who's the Kim Barnett, Candy. Good morning. How are y'all? Let's get with the program here, baby. Get your cup. Hey, Elaine. Desiree, good morning. Hey, Miss Faye. Good to see you. Hazel Ryan, that's a new name. Miss Hazel, where are you listening to us from this morning? Rise and shine, Kim. Tell them. Hey, Marianne Stanley. How you doing this morning? Jana, look at you. Jana, turn over a new leaf, getting with the program. Hey, Jason Weidman, good to see you. Kathy Johnson, good morning. Coach Amy Lewis, good to see you. Sweet Vanita, there she is. Josh Johnson, good morning. How you doing, big man? Nick Walker, what's going on? Mike Pate, my man. Brandy Harden, tell him, here we go. Tess, where's Big Al? Hey, Heather, good morning to you. Minaj, good morning to you. Excuse me. Hey, Tara, my sister. Hey, Christy Elmore, good morning to you. Nikki, how's everyone doing with y'all? Morning, Brown. Morning to you, buddy. Let's get us a sip for the trip. Willie Kelly, Gail Dogan, there she is. Tell Mr. Dogan I said hello, Gail. Hey, Daryl, cups up, tell him. Good to see you too, Minaj. Mercy, good to see you again. Doug Jones, my man, you sipping on that Black Rifle coffee? I tell you. Hey, Joanne. Talisa, good morning to you. Hey, Heather. Elizabeth Barnett, good morning. All right, here we go. Good morning, Wyman. Good morning, buddy. Diane, good to see y'all. Rhonda. We're going to be in Matthew chapter 26, guys. Matthew chapter 26 this morning. Willie Kelly. Thank you, Mercy. You as well. Hey, Amanda. I like that name, Amanda Jewell. That's a pretty name. Hey, Kim. Tammy Mack. Casey Lavelle. Casey or Lovell? Maybe it may be Lovell without an E on the end. Where are you listening to us from, Casey? Thank you, Minaj, for the prayers. Hey, Tyler. Hey, Amanda. Eric Jones, there's my man, faithful. Hey, Casey, let us know where you're listening to us from. Hey, Danette, good morning to you. Tell Steve I said hello, good morning. Y'all get your little sip for the trip. We got about 30 more seconds. Matthew chapter 26. There he is. There's Rob. And Big Al. Good morning, Joe. Got your cup of Joe? Hey, Juliet. All right, guys, we're getting ready to close it up. Get with the program. Good morning, Handsome Al. There it is. Ashton has COVID. Yes, ma'am. Y'all pray for Ashton. Casey, what part of Alabama? Hey, Carol. Y'all pray for Ashton. She has COVID. She'll be fine. She's strong and young. Hey, Angie Bozeman. Hey, Gayla McNair. Good morning. All right, here we go. Got to put that down. Get her cups up. Toast. Cups up to the Morning Word crowd. Here we go. Good morning to all of you. Tip of the hat to all of our educators, first responders, and our military personnel that's serving us around the country. Thank you and around the world. Thank you for what you're doing. This morning, our morning word is different watches. I had to go and buy another watch this past weekend. We went to visit with Beth's mother and father, and I looked down there and my watch, the light was going out on it. And then the numbers would fade in and out. Now, it didn't quit all at one time, but it was fading on me. So I said, I need to go to Walmart and get me a watch. So I went down there and been wearing the same kind of watch for years and years and years. But it's keeping time all the time right now. And so as I was reading Matthew chapter 26 this morning, I thought about watches. In Matthew chapter 26, this is just prior to Jesus' arrest in the Garden of Gethsemane. He's talking to his disciples there. In just a few seconds, Judas is going to walk up with the motley crew from the Sanhedrin and the various groups that have been persuaded that he is a blasphemer. And so in those few moments there, in Matthew chapter 26, verse 31, then Jesus said to them, that's his disciples, all of you will be made to stumble because of me this night. For it is written, I will strike the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock will be scattered. But after I have been raised, I will go before you to Galilee. Now that's the little phrase right there that Jesus said that we forget in the telling of this story over and over again. We forget. We just skim right over it. Verse 32, Jesus says, but after I have been raised, I will go before you to Galilee, meaning I'll meet you there. Peter answered and said to him, even if all are made to stumble because of you, I will never be made to stumble. Jesus said to him, assuredly I say to you that this night before the rooster crows, you will deny me 3 times. Peter said to him, even if I have to die with you, I will not deny you. Here's another little phrase that we always miss. And so said all the disciples. In other words, we always say, well, Peter swore that he wouldn't betray Jesus. He even swore that he would not betray Jesus, even if it cost him his life. Well, all of the other disciples agreed to the same thing. So verse 36, then Jesus came with them to a place called Gethsemane and said to the disciples, sit here while I go and pray over there. And he took with him Peter and the 2 sons of Zebedee, and he began to be sorrowful and deeply distressed. Then he said to them, my soul is exceedingly sorrowful, even to death. Stay here and watch with me. He went a little farther and fell on his face and prayed, saying, oh, my Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as you will. Then he came to the disciples and found them sleeping and said to Peter, what? Could you not watch with me 1 hour? Watch and pray, lest you enter into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. Now, Jesus has explained to them already. He's been telling them that he's going to die. And then he tells them he's going to be raised again. And he tells them he's going to meet them again in Galilee. Now, all of that just went right over the top of their head. It's not what they had in their plans. It's not how they foresaw things working out. And so, therefore, they didn't really grasp the true meaning of what he was saying. And in much the same way, when Jesus gives us hard sayings, and it doesn't really mesh with how we think or how we want things to work out and pan out, sometimes if we don't immediately get the point, or even if we do immediately get the point, if we don't like it, we let it slide by the wayside. Well, Jesus tells them that he's going to rise again. And he tells them that they're all going to deny him. And then they go to the garden. He asks them all to pray. He takes Peter, James, and John and goes a little further, asks them to pray with him, to watch and pray. Then he goes a little bit further and kneels down to pray. He comes back and finds them sleeping. Now, they're all sleeping. Now, think about this. He's told them that he's going to die. He told them that they are all going to betray him. He told them that he's going to be raised from the dead, and he told them that he was going to meet them in Galilee. None of those things are coming to bear right now in their thought life. They've eaten a meal. They've gone out to pray, and like most of us, when they started praying, they just dozed off to sleep. They had no sense. They had no sense of urgency, and they had no idea that their own faith was getting ready to be put on trial. And part of their watching and praying was to strengthen their spirit, so that when that time of trial came, they would not abandon Christ. Well, consequently, they went to sleep and they abandoned Christ at a critical moment. Now, he had told them that the watching and praying was for their spiritual benefit. That's what he was saying. He said, your flesh is willing, but your spirit is willing, but your flesh is weak. So now let's take this scenario and let's put it in today's context. Jesus has told us, okay, in this world we're going to have tribulations. We don't like that. If they hated me, they'll hate you. We don't like that. Hard times are coming. We don't like that. So we kind of let those kinds of verses go over the top of our head. We don't really give a lot of attention to them. Then Jesus knows that persecution for his name's sake is coming our way. He says, they're going to persecute you because of me. And you're going to have betrayals in your families, in your churches, in your neighbors, amongst your neighbors. You're going to have betrayals. Just like Judas betrayed Jesus, we're going to have betrayals. We don't like that. And it goes right past over our head. Then he says, I'm coming back. Okay? I'm coming back. And we go, yeah, okay. And that goes right over our head because we have plans, right? And our plans, let's be honest, our plans today hadn't really included the return of Jesus, has it? So in the midst of all of that, just like the disciples, Jesus has given us some difficult words, some hard words. We don't like them. We let them go by. And here's what he said. I'm coming back. Just like I told these guys I'm going to rise from the dead and I'm going to meet them in Galilee. That went right past them. I'm telling you that I'm coming back. Matter of fact, in chapter 24 of Matthew, he says, I'm coming back at a time that none of you will expect. No one is going to expect my arrival when I come back. Well, I don't have a hard time believing that, right? I don't have a hard time believing that because let's face it, today when we got up and we started making our plans and setting our agendas, we haven't taken into consideration the fact that Jesus may come. You know why? Because we don't have the same watch that Jesus has. We don't have the same watch. This watch, okay, is how we govern our life. It has minutes, hours, days. Mine has date, January 18th on it, Tuesday. That's how we operate. The watch that Jesus operates on, when you look down at it, here's what it says: at any moment. That's what Jesus' watch says, at any moment. And he's telling us, just like he was telling them, okay? He's telling us that we need to watch and pray. Watch and pray. What does it mean to watch? It means to be sensitive in the spirit to the things that are happening and to be preparing ourselves for not only the presence and the opportunities of temptation, but to also be watching in light of the fact that he may come at any moment. So we are supposed to have different watches that are sensitive to the things that are going on in the spirit, that are sensitive to the times when the enemy is trying to come to us and deaden us and to what's going on around us and make us unaware of what's going on around us so that we begin to what? Sleep. So that we begin to become slothful. So that we become inattentive to the things that are really important in life and eternally important. And that's the return of Jesus. And having ourselves strong in our faith, having a strong spirit, bringing our flesh into subjection, and living out the will of God in difficult times. You and I, we need to kind of put a practical application here if we can, okay? Just to kind of keep us spiritually alert. And that is, we need to get in the habit of every time that we look down here to get the day and the date and the minute and the hour, we need to let this thought go through our mind at any moment, at any moment, at any moment, at any moment. At any moment, the enemy could come and make a play on our faith because of the things that are going on around us. Cause us to become discouraged and even deny Christ. And then we need to live our lives in light of the fact that Jesus is coming back at any moment. He said, I'm coming back at a time that you do not anticipate. You are not going to be expecting it. In other words, if you're just looking at this watch and the numbers and the days and the weeks and the hours, when Jesus comes back, will catch us completely unaware. And that's a dangerous place because he says, we've talked about it last week, we talked about being prepared for his return, what that means, beginning with being saved and born again. So we need to, we certainly live inside of time and space, and this kind of watch is important. We do have to regulate our lives with regards to days and hours and minutes and so forth and so on. But this watch should be regulated by another watch, a different watch. And that watch is at any moment that Christ could come. At any moment, the enemy could make a play on our faith. And we need to set our watches and we need to live our lives and order our affairs by this watch in light of the fact that the other watch says at any moment. At any moment. See, that keeps us spiritually alert. It keeps us from becoming dull in our faith, dull in our passion, distracted from our purpose. Yesterday, we were pulling some limbs out of Annabeth's backyard, pulling them some tree limbs to the front for the trash people to pick up. And we all began, me, Micah, Beth, Elena, and Annabeth. Quana wasn't there yet. He came back and joined us later. He had and Rhett, my grandson. And we were all grabbing limbs, and I was handing them and pulling them out, and they would take them. I said, drag them to the road, and we went out there, and I showed them how to lay them on the road and where we needed. So she dragged one, he dragged one. So that's what we're doing. Well, I go around there, and Annabeth has a blower, and she starts blowing leaves. And then Beth, she says, well, we need to get these big ones, these little ones. Y'all get these little pieces over here. And they were becoming distracted with the leaves and the little bitty limbs about this big, the little broken pieces. We had gigantic limbs that were many feet long, okay? I didn't come over there to get the leaves out of the yard. I didn't go over there to get the twigs out of the yard. I went over there to get the limbs out of the yard. But what happened was they got distracted, and leaves and little tidbits of the little bitty limbs, the little bitty thing, fragments, got them distracted. Okay, and that's how easy it happens to us in life. We have a task, okay, and the enemy wants to come and distract us with the little things and get us distracted with time and dates and weeks and years and dull us down and try to rob us of our faith and discourage us and get us off task. And Jesus said, you need a different watch. You need a different watch that says at any moment, anytime you look at it, day or night, this week, next week, or whenever, it needs to, that watch, that spiritual watch needs to say at any moment, so that keeps us on task, so that keeps us living life with a purpose, not just trying to get to Friday, not just trying to get to the beach, not just trying to get my house clean, not just trying to get to the Christmas party, not just trying to get to the ball game, but all of those things are orchestrated with the mindset that at any moment Jesus could come back. So when I'm doing all of these other things according to times and dates, that I'm doing so with a mental and spiritual acuity and awareness that says this is not how this life is supposed to be lived. There's a greater meaning, there's a greater purpose, and there's coming a moment when our Savior is returning, and we need to be ready, okay? It'll keep you out of the beer joints. It'll keep you out of arguments. It'll help keep your marriage together, okay? Because, see, everything that we're doing is orchestrated to this watch. And God says, you need to watch and pray, because I'm coming back at a time that you don't anticipate. And also, he told them here that their watching and praying was going to be the strength in their spirit. Strength in their flesh, because their spirit says, I will never deny you. Jesus said, I know that you purpose in your mind and in your heart to never deny me, but your flesh, your humanity, your Adamic nature is weak. And you can only rule and reign it through prayer and watching watching in prayer and anticipating, being sensitive to what's going on around us. Help us, Lord. We've become spiritually dull, and it's because, okay, we're operating on a different watch. I hope this helps y'all today. It feels like Monday, but it's actually Tuesday because Monday was a holiday. So tomorrow we'll be in the middle of the week, and we'll see y'all tomorrow, good Lord willing, and the saints don't rise.